IFA 2017 here in Las Vegas. Jeff, I think from your perspective, given that you're a high-profile franchisee, I'm curious on what you thought of Aziz Hashim being chairperson, that you're able to have a franchisee representing the industry, which has been somewhat rare in IFA's history.
Well, Aziz is not only a franchisee, he really gets the whole industry. And what a great, I don't know if you caught his speech, but his whole speech this afternoon was around the fact that it's not necessarily a political war with politicians. It's a war against that we need to take on to convince people what franchising is, or teach people what franchising is. And that will help lawmakers and everyone else understand what our issues are and how valuable franchising is to the United States.
So, I mean, some of the data that Aziz put up to talk about that the perception of the local community isn't always favorable around franchising. When that's your business, that's your life, and you see that, does that frustrate you? Do you expect that? Do you see it in the level that maybe the data is showing?
Our business isn't a brand that's so well known as a franchise. We have to often tell people in Madison or in our markets that we're a franchise. We're individual relationships with referral sources who then bring us clients, and they only know us as our business, so they don't have that same connection. They saw Shelley on Undercover Boss and say, oh, I guess I do know that you're bigger. But it's to our advantage to ourselves. Now we're taking on each of our orientations. I'm doing a piece on franchising with new employees. I ask them, who do you work for? They say BrightStar. I said, who's on your check? Don't know. I said, it's S&J Home Care. And we make, so it's great that you say BrightStar. We want you to, and that's the right answer. But we're making the employment decisions. What kind of schedule you get, what hours you're going to work, how much you're going to get paid, what benefits we're going to offer. BrightStar and Gurney does not make that decision for you. We do. So we're fighting that. I'm volunteering at the local high school to work with the DECA class, the entrepreneur class, and educate them about what franchising is. So I'm embracing Aziz's challenge and taking it on with our employees and with the high school kids I'm working with.
Take me back to why you first got involved with being a franchisee. What was that moment that pushed you over the edge and said that you're ready to take control yourself?
Sure. I got a great opportunity to get a severance from a corporate job I had, and I took what Susan calls a summer of Jeff, and I rode my bike and I waxed the cars and I made dinner and I thought about what do I want to do next. And I was 55 years old at that time, and I knew I was probably not going to get back on airplanes every day. I wasn't going to join a culture that I didn't have control over. I was going to build my own business. So I really had that concept. I had a great similar senior VP job offered to me, and I turned it down for those reasons and took some time and think, and I woke up one morning and told Susan I'm going to have my own business. And the company I worked for had given me career counseling, and they wanted me to get a job so they could stop paying me. And I had a support group, and I went to the support group and my counselor, and I told them I wasn't going to take the job I had offered, which to the rest of the guys in that group, they couldn't believe that. And my counselor said, you just got fired from your support group. We don't think it's best you come back. But he did over time, and talking about the fact that I had a history of taking I was a phone company and a bank, so there were existing processes, but making it better by empowering employees and engaging them and really being customer focused. My groups always did well. So I knew I had that going for me, and he was lucky enough to introduce me to Chip, who was a franchise broker. Chip didn't have a relationship with BrightStar. He looked at me, heard my story, talked to Susan, and he said, I think maybe the two of us could go to Shelley's Sun together and see what happens. And 10 years later, here I am, and we've had 2.5 million hours of care that we've provided in those 10 years, and we're taking big vacations and empowering our branch managers to run the place, and we get to operate at a more of a general manager level. So it's been a wonderful decision. That's maybe not a question it's not the question you asked, but it's been a wonderful decision.
So much of our audience could be those that, and given the economy's in fairly good shape right now, so layoffs might be a little bit less today, and maybe that forced moment doesn't occur as much today as it has in the past. But for those that are on the fence and uncomfortable with the idea of becoming a franchisee because they're afraid of the unknown, what would you say to them, and how did you get over the fear of someone else is still in control of your destiny because there's a brand behind you, but being comfortable with the idea that you're ready to take that jump?
Well, first of all, we bought in 2006. 2 years later was 2008. We still flourished through that time. We had actually 2008, 2009, we had 60% growth. I think we got lucky joining the brand that we did. What I would say is spend the time, and I get a lot of discovery calls myself, people looking at our brand. I would say spend a lot of time to make sure that a brand that you would choose and the product that you're going to choose is something that you're going to be passionate about, because you're going to work really hard. The first few years you work really hard. We had on-call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 2.5 years before we trusted that to someone else. So you're going to work hard, but it's not work anymore. It's something that you're passionate about, but also choose a brand that you really believe in, and franchisor that you can look at and say, yeah, that's somebody I want to go on a ride with.
So I can see your enthusiasm and your appreciation for now where your career has gone and where you've taken it to the next level. Do you, in retrospect and as you look back, do you wish you found franchising earlier?
Well, yeah, I really never look back. So yeah, it would have been great. I had a wonderful learning experience. I probably wouldn't be as successful here now if I hadn't done the jobs that I did before. So I think it's all part of a puzzle that it's okay. I don't have regrets about not being here earlier.
Well, and I think, and to circle it all back to what Aziz's message is, I still think maybe the general perception of franchising is not as educated as it should be. And if we start telling the story of you having success and finding passion and making a difference in a community, and some of that starts being passed to younger generations earlier in the process, then hopefully the perception of politicians will get better, hopefully the perception of a community will get different and better, and then hopefully the next wave of whoever's going to be the next franchisees and all these brands that are looking for those folks, they'll be more enthusiastic when they get into it.
Yeah, and franchising does offer that opportunity for you to match your passion, and that's what I joined BrightStar largely because of the experience with my mom, mid-range Alzheimer's. I was a distant caregiver. I understood what families were going through, so we set our mission as peace of mind, and so I'm working my passion. As I talk to these high school kids that I'm mentoring with, I talk to them about finding that passion. Well, the great thing about franchising is, just look around here. You can go from A to Z on any type of passion that you have and find a way to make it happen. And that's the beauty of franchising, I think, for that love your job, love what you're doing. You can find it here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I appreciate you telling us your human story, and hopefully that resonates with our audience.